Something I realized last night. Like, this is just kind of self-diagnosing, but you know how I have like chronic pain in my shoulder, and that's like a separate thing, but then there's another like general pain in my body that like flares up, especially when I'm trying to stay calm. And I tried to investigate this when I was like younger already, and I've been dealing with this from like my whole life, pretty much, as long as I can remember. And it's really tough when I sleep, or when I'm like on an airplane. And like recently, maybe thanks to age, I finally don't have this issue anymore. But I used to always need, like, I swear, 3 hours to fall asleep. Even when I was tired as fuck, and I would just have my eyes closed for 3 hours. I just couldn't sleep. Now it's a bit better. But, had this my whole life, right? And always wondered, like, what the fuck it is. And then, like, early on, a doctor was like, fibromyalgia, because he couldn't think of anything else. And I was like, okay, whatever. I guess then there's nothing we can do about it. But there was a time where I was, like, doing research, right? And I looked up what it could be. And, like, one of the things I was wondering is, do I have restless leg syndrome? And back then, like, 15 years ago or so, I kind of dismissed it because, well, the doctors didn't think about that either. But I also kind of dismissed it because I thought, well, it's not just in my legs, it's in my whole body. But now I think about it again, and I did research again because I noticed that this phenomenon that I have is stronger now with me taking the antidepressants. And so now it's bothering me even more so. It's keeping me up awake longer because my body is so restless, literally. Keeping me so restless. So, because I was so bothered more than usual, I looked up some stuff again. And I feel like I should have never dismissed it because it probably is restless leg syndrome. Because, like, I feel like when I looked it up long time ago, it wasn't really clearly stated that it can be in more than just your legs. And generally, even now, when I look stuff up, it's like mostly mentioning just the legs, but it does say it can also be in the rest of the body. And it also says that it can be stronger when taking antidepressants. So, yeah. But, like, everything fits so well. So, normally, what I do is, like, I tense up a muscle that bothers me. Like, for example, 1 second, my booty cheek, I swear, my booty cheeks are often the problem. My left booty cheek, or like both of them, will feel weird. So I tense it up for 1 moment, and then I let go, so to say. And then next, like a few seconds later, I feel it in my calves, in one calf, and I tense that up, and then I let go. And then I do the same in my upper arm, because then it feels like that there, and it goes on and on and on, and it's like constant. And it's like literally, the sensations typically emerge during periods of inactivity and are relieved by movement. Yeah. Accompanied by an urge to flex and stretch muscles for relief is a hallmark of restless leg syndrome. This neurological condition causes an overwhelming, sometimes painful urge to move the body, often accompanied by a creeping or crawling sensation. Symptoms heavily spike during periods of rest or inactivity. I mean, that's like literally what I've been dealing with my whole life. Actually, so dumb. Like, it's not completely out of my control, but it's so bad that I constantly have to do it. Like, I can't really not do it, but I do it like very aware. But so this apparently there's sometimes like taking, like, if you are low on iron and stuff, apparently for some people taking iron and magnesium supplements helps, but there's also other ways. So I think I should just look into it. But it's kind of crazy that I just kind of went with it for my whole life. I think I was also just, at the time, which is a long time ago now, looking for videos to compare, like people with restless leg syndromes, to compare what I have and see if that looks like what I do. Well, basically I'm saying I should have not dismissed it back then, but because those videos that I looked for when I did research, either I didn't find anything useful at the time, or, you know, it just didn't give me enough confidence to be like, yeah, that's what I have. Yeah, but I have many issues. So this is just one of them. And mostly, like, I've gotten so used to it, I still hate it, and it makes me uncomfortable when I like sit next to somebody and I worry about them noticing my movements, or when I sleep next to somebody and they notice. I mean, never has anybody ever said anything, but the one thing I noticed when I like sit in the full Japanese train in a manyin densha, some of the seats, well, it depends on how big the people are that sit next to me too, but when the people are pretty big, or when the seats are, like, the spacing of the train is pretty narrow, then our shoulders will touch. And one thing I noticed is that when some shoulder is touching my shoulder, for example, when there's contact, body contact like that, then I like get even more like hyper focused or so on these sensations in my body, and then even more so I want to move that body part slightly, like tense it up and let go. And then I try to hold back though, because I try to not make the other person feel like they're bothering me. I mean, generally I would prefer not to have our shoulders be touching, but I worry like like sometimes they're like, I feel like a reaction, like when I tense it up and then let go and they sense it because our arms are literally touching, they like adjust their arm because they feel like that they're in the way or so of me, which is nice. But some of them, sometimes it feels like they're doing it kind of passive aggressively, which I'm like, I didn't even mean that. I didn't mean it like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to send them a signal, but they take it as a signal. Like, you're in the way, you know? That's not what I mean. I mean, as I said, I would prefer us not to have our arms touching in general for private, what do you call it? Like, I prefer having more space. But at the same time, I'm not doing this movement to tell you anything. I'm just, but I'm holding, I try to hold back, and then that makes me kind of go insane often. Oh yeah. Personal space, yeah. So, I have this issue when I sit on the train. I have this issue always when I sit or try to sleep. Yeah. I get even more worried about it when it would affect somebody else, or when somebody else would notice and become aware of it. Then I feel bad and embarrassed.